Oops. Let's lower that. Let's make this full size so I can see what's going on. And there we are, folks. Welcome. I hope that you are ready for our fourth session of the, why is WordPress for me, right? What's the 5-day challenge of WordPress at thechallengeconnection.com. So this to me has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed sharing one of my passions with you guys as challengers. I hope that as you've progressed through the challenges, you've recognized that I want to give you like a direction, but I can't give you, I could, but I don't want to give you like, do this now, do this now, do this now, do this now, right? I want this to be your creation. I want you to have the flexibility to create, but I want you to understand like best practices and things like that. And so getting involved with WordPress is a lot of fun because you have, it gives you kind of a template to work with. So you can work within that template if you choose. But then as you grow and you have these desires to do something different, you can absolutely, move on and continue to build and make things happen the way that you want them to be. And so with no further ado, this whole section. So if we go to looking at the Is WordPress for You challenge page, if I go and I look at that, and I say, okay, let's go and take a look at, the lessons that we had in there. So the first lesson was, what is WordPress all about? Why WordPress? And that was just to make sure that, hey, is this even the right thing for you to be studying? Does this fit your use case? Do you want to own your content, or do you want to rent a space somewhere and put your content on someone else's site? Do you have a course to share? Do you have something to sell? Are you going to sell t-shirts, coffee mugs? Are you going to write for people? Are you going to do a blog? Is this to express ideas, or is this to sell product? And as we drove down through that in that first lesson, it kind of identified what some of the pros and cons were about using WordPress. Now, so we went through that session, and then we had another session where we said, getting started with WordPress, right? So it was like, how do you get started? Now that you've identified WordPress is for you, how do you get started with WordPress? And so we looked at, how do you access a free WordPress platform? How do you give yourself the chance to get familiar with the platform without investing in hosting and, loading up your own software and your own site? And when I say your own software, it's open source software. You can download it for free through wordpress.org. I wanted you to have an opportunity to get used to using it on someone else's platform rather than you having to build your own first. I hope that makes sense. Learn to walk before you run kind of thing. And so that was there for you. So that was awesome, right? And then we talked about some of the tools, like creating and parsing your content is what we had talked about last week. And if we think about some of the things that we talked about last week, we talked about not just like that there's different content, but like, how do you get the content? For instance, I'll do a quick screen share here. Let's see where I think I'm at. I think I'm in this screen right here. Yep, there you are. And we'll go ahead to Brand Crowd. I gave you guys a resource last week for Brand Crowd, and it says, let's create logo design, right? And I told you guys, when I have high-end corporate clients, I will hire a graphic designer and we'll go through the discovery process and have professional graphics made. But if I'm doing a quick project or an ad hoc project for somebody as a sample, I'll go into Brand Crowd and I'll make a sample logo. And look how easy this is. Let's say that your business is Zeke's Bicycles. Zeke's Bicycles. Simple as that. What's the name of your business? Create logos. Watch this. Now watch what happens. Tell us about your business, right? So we do BMX, road bike, mountain bike, wheels, and we'll just say continue. Now, do you want an icon in text or text only? So text only is going to play with like fonts and stuff like that, make it really, fancy. But let's go icon and text so you can see everything together, right? So we say I'll click this one. Now, you could just skip it and see all the logos, but I like to be like focused. If I want an image in my logo, I'm going to say to do that. Okay. Generating the logos. Look how quick this happens. And so now I get all of these samples here that I can take a look at, and I can go, okay, well, looking at what I want to develop, am I looking for something that's like modern and swooshy? Am I looking for something that, you know, kind of matches like more of the brand styling I'm seeing, you know, nowadays? Do I want to do like old school stuff, right? Do I want to do, you know, this is kind of abstract. It still looks like a bike. Look at this, a flower inside a primary drive gear, right? Completely like, what makes you think about that, right? So that's there. Zeke's bicycles, Zeke cycles. This one, right? You want to be a patriot. It's got an American flag in it. And look at this. This just goes on and on and on. I can pick almost anything I want. Like, look how similar these are, right? But you can go through and you can pick, like this one looks like it's like a whale tail on a bicycle all together. It all looks like it's waves. It doesn't even look like a bike. This one's funky, right? That's kind of cool. But you guys get the idea, right? So let's say that I pick one. So I'm going to pick, I want to pick one that I like. Yeah, I like that. I like tandem bikes. And this one has hearts on it. Let's go back to the first page. Okay. The one that I kind of liked was, I kind of like this one. I thought this was cool. And so I can pick this. And then once I pick it, it's going to give me choices. I can change the lettering, right? So I can go in here and I can change the lettering. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller. You know, you can really have a lot of fun in there. Thick boy caps is what it started with. I can lower the size. I can raise the size. I can change the color, right? I can make it a brighter color. I can go really bright. I can do a gradient. I can do like a fade, right? I can do, look at all the different stuff that you can do inside this editor, right? So I can make all this, and then when it's done, I can download it or I can save it. So I can save it and know that I can get back to it later, or I can go ahead and download it. Now, downloading the icon requires a fee. I think it's $31 or $32. And then there's other things that they'll try to sell you. Like, do you want to make business cards? Do you want to buy a hat? Do you want to buy a shirt with this logo on it? All that stuff. And you can change, so background, logo, shape, pardon me. I can change the background of this thing to have color. Well, you don't want that one. Like that, right? You can change the shape. Right, so I could like put a shape in there if I wanted to. I'll get rid of that. Where was I at? Edit the shape. All right, but you get kind of the flow on how this happens. You can play with all kinds of stuff inside BrandCrowd and come up with something that works for you. It's one of those awesome tools. Now, today I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of like site structure. I'm not sure that we really hit on site structure good enough. So what I want to do is, let's take a look at this website right here, the one that you guys went through for the challenge. Here's the site. Okay. I have a landing page, right? The landing page says use WordPress to build your project or your mission. You can get started or you can learn more, right? Quick, simple, you own it and it grows with you. So I'm giving you, why do I think it's better than Udemy or Kajabi or Facebook and things like that? We talk about content, format, design. I'm your instructor. See what's going on here? The front page has like a tidbit for everything. Now, when I click on the about page, that's going to give me more detail for people that want to do a deeper dive and see what it's really about, right? And it gives you samples of the work and stuff like that. Okay. Just to show you that there's consistency, I'll show you what the Powersport Academy looks like. This is one of the sites that I designed. It's also in WordPress. And so you see here, we've got dealer focused training. The site is to sell training. So schedule a service sales strategy session here. It's got a video that plays that tells people, a little bit about how to get a white paper on this industry. I've got a testimonial. This is a picture of the shop that I used to have up in Northern California, and the Powersport Academy, and a quick blurb, like, what is it? And then it goes into our proven 4-step process, the 4 things that we really train on, how to access a free white paper or take a free lesson, kind of like where we get our thoughts and our ideologies from. See our program come to life. So are you using, your phone, a laptop, or do you want training in person? We meet your needs, and then let's get creative and let's schedule that strategy session. So as you can see, again, the homepage is more like a landing page. It's more like a snippet of everything, right? Kind of vomits the whole project on somebody in short consumable pieces. But now anyone that wants to do the deeper dive can then go into, okay, what does a dashboard look like? What are the membership options? What does the course catalog represent? What kind of events do they have? And how do I contact somebody? See how there's like classifications that expand on everything. So here in the 4-step process, we talk about an online academy, and it's just like 1 sentence, right? But if somebody wants to check out the detail of the online academy, they go to the course catalog, and there it all is. Okay, so that blows it out, makes all kinds of sense. Let's take a look at another example. Let's take a look at Mañana No Más. Mañana No Más is, it's my home site. It's my major property that does everything, right? So that's where the Challenge Connection and Powersport Academy and Vaxpreneur all come from. But if we take a look at this, here we see it's a little piece of everything, right? So business consulting, web development, public speaking, curriculum development, podcasts and masterminds. Gives you a timeline of my experience in working on the internet. And then it goes into my recent posts and how to get in touch with me. And then kind of a portfolio of different projects that are really moving forward right now, right? Now, our services, right? Affiliate support, how to contact us, right? So boom, contact us right there. Academy, go to the academy, learn all about it. Now up here, I'm talking about training, right? So up here, I'm talking about curriculum development. But if somebody wants to do the deep dive on curriculum development, they just go down to the bottom and click Academy. Up top is a little blurb on public speaking. Well, here they can click on Kurt and see a blown out, example of public speaking and training. And so when you're putting your website together, to me, it's very important that you, get a logo. Think about copy, right? You have a way of thinking about what you want to say. You have an idea of thinking about how you want to message somebody, right? But think of it from the reader's perspective. What does the reader want to hear from you? What does the reader need from you for inspiration to take the next step? What's the call to action that you give somebody on your website? Now, did you notice in those websites that I showed you that each of them had a separate call to action? There was, schedule your service sales strategy session on the Powersport Academy site. There was the schedule a discovery call on the Mañana No Más website. And so when you look at these sites, you can say, okay, boom, here's the sales copy. Here's the graphic. Here's the call to action. And so when you're talking about making a WordPress site for business, those are things that you want to be cognizant of. You want to think about, what do I need? What do I need the reader? What do I need someone that's looking at this website to do? What do I need them to physically do? That's the call to action, right? And then what copy, what wording, right? So the copy is the term that they use for the wording on the website, right? So what copy can I put on the website that's going to drive people to that call to action? You got to think that through. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a genius at this stuff. I mean, I'm okay. I'm not a genius. So what I'll do typically is I'll make a web project and I'll lay it out and I'll put my copy in there, my graphics and my call to action. And then what I'll do is I'll lean on other people that I work with in my industry, and I'll say, hey, can you give this a quick once over? Can you give me a quick look at this? And people make up their mind within 5 to 10 seconds of looking at a web page to know if they want to be on that web page or not. Yeah, they call that a bounce rate. When someone signs into your website and does nothing on your website, but like look at the page and leave, they call that a bounce, right? And so if you have a high bounce rate, something's wrong with your page. So you need to go and say, okay, people aren't doing anything here. Now, some pages are built to have a bounce rate. Like I might have a page where it's just showing someone an article and that's it. And there's no call to action and there's no, get more information here, click this link to go, if there's no call to action and there's nothing that someone can do on the page, it's going to have a high bounce rate because there's nothing to do. But if I'm talking about the home page for a business related project, pardon me, there's always going to be something to do. Click the contact link, schedule an appointment, schedule a Zoom call, join a webinar, all of that stuff. And so what I want to do is I want to look at my stats. I want to take a look at, how is this website performing, or how is the email service I'm using performing? And so that pretty much covers it for today. I didn't really want to go in too deep on making this overly confusing. Remember, this project is for folks that are brand new at WordPress, brand new at thinking about putting a website together. So I don't want to talk about different plugins and automations and blending with your CRM and all these things. WordPress can do all of that stuff, but to just get you started, how's your homepage coming, right? How's your about page coming? If somebody goes to the homepage and goes, man, I really want to know more about this person, how are you representing yourself within your website? So do you have an about me page? Do you have a way for them to contact you? So any of these templates that you would have picked up through WordPress on the back end would have had like a contact form, right? And so you would just use that form, make that your contact link, right? So did you leave a way for people to contact you? Did you do any blogging at all? Did you add any posts? If I have a lot of posts in Manana no Mas. So let me go into, I'll share that screen with you, and it should be this one here. There we go. And so if we go into my menu and take a look at how many posts that I have inside Manana no Mas, you might be a little surprised to see, I've got a ton of stuff in here. And so if we take a look at all posts, now blogging is interesting because you don't have to format the page or anything. When you go in, see where it says holiday business planning. Let's say that I want to edit that. I'll say edit. And now if I would have said posts add new, this would be the same screen that I would see, right? So post add new, you literally just put in, you put in the title that you want to have and you just start writing, right? Add in pictures where you want them and hit publish. Like now it says update, but on the original, if I was adding post, it would say publish and then click update. Now let's see how I want to take a look at what it looks like. All I'm doing is adding the text and the pictures, right? And then the site formats the page for me. So it has its own page up here in the URL. This is the direct link to that blog post, right? But this whole page was formatted just in WordPress. I didn't have to format it or make the page. I just put the content in. This is what's called a post, right? So, so my question is, did you write any posts? Generally, I like to make, probably a post every week or 2 weeks. Sometimes I get on a run and I'll do a post every day for like a month. But if you take a look again at my, let me close this down. Hold on. I got to wait for that screen to move. Move. There we go. There we go. We'll go back. If you take a look, I've got 248 posts in here. So I've written quite a bunch in this website. But so I'm asking if you've made posts. I don't want to make it sound overly simple. I have a habit of doing that. I have a habit of making things sound like all you got to do is ABC. All you got to do is, and I know that procrastination takes place when you're unsure about something. And so I led you to the free WordPress source so that you can have a free WordPress site, so you can get familiar with the back end. I wanted you to get used to the idea that, you can make your own logo. You can have your own ideas. In the Vaxpreneur website, we're adding some content about how to come up with your own individual ideas and how to filter those ideas and how to move forward with ideas, from an entrepreneur's mindset. So we're working on that on the Vaxpreneur side of things at vaxpreneur.com. But once you have that idea and you say, man, I really need a website for this, I wanted you guys to have a way to get started. So many times people want everything to be perfect. They want everything to be set. They want everything to be done. They want everything to be, finished, and it's got to be perfect. And, and I'm here to tell you that's wrong. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be flashy. It doesn't need to be special. It just needs to be, right? Get it started, get something up, hit publish, go public with it. And it's okay if you're embarrassed at the first run, because that's how we grow. And then just keep putting time into it and keep learning. And, learning never stops. I'm in my mid 50s and I keep learning something every single day. It sounds so cliche to say it, but it's true. I study new software programs. Just last week, I was learning how to make mobile applications for a phone. Folks, there is so much out there that you can do, and you can do on a shoestring budget to get yourself started and to really start making headway. But you got to first take that step. You got to first make something happen. And so I almost went deeper in the session and I caught myself and I stopped. Thank goodness. This course, this challenge, this 5-day challenge over 5 weeks is really just to get somebody from zero to started. And my goal was to make it so that you would have a website that at the end you could push, publish, and be happy that you had something online. Now, next week is our last session. Next week is it, okay? So next week, we're going to review our WordPress.com website, whatever website that you had picked for yourself. We're going to take a look at, what does that landing page look like? What does the home page look like? How, do you have any blogs written? Do you have any posts in your post pages? Is your contact page in place? I want you guys to play with this stuff between now and then. Then, on the last session, I'm going to show you how to get into a registrar. A registrar is how you reserve your URL, right? So if you're like Steve Jones and you want to be stevejones.com, well, then I'll show you how to reserve stevejones.com, provided that that's available. Okay. So I'll show you how I do it. Now, remember, lately my thing is saying it's like being a magician, right? You lay out your card, you go pick a card, any card. And it's because, there's at least 52 different ways to do things, but I'll show you my way. Okay. My way is affordable. I've set it to a system and it works for me. It works really, really well. Okay. Plus I won't get you locked into that deal where, you only have one email address. I want to make sure you have the ability to make multiple email addresses for whatever property you choose. Okay, folks, that's it. I hope you're having a blast. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.